you're not. Hello, College Park. If you can hear me, drop a like at the stream below. Thank you for tuning in to WMUC Radio. We took off last week. If you didn't recognize that, last week was Thanksgiving. But thank you everybody for tuning in today. With me today, I am Nick, as always, and with me today I have Ross and Matt. Ross, introduce yourself.
How's it going? Ross.
Okay, awesome. Ross has been here for a record-tying 3 times this semester. Very loyal, and we're always glad to have him on. So give him some praise. And a newcomer within Mr. Matt. Matt, introduce yourself.
What's up, everybody? I'm Matt.
What are you?
Sports fan.
Yeah, are you a Baltimore sports fan? Because the viewers do not know you.
Just Baltimore sports fan. I love The Notebook and long walks on the beach.
All right. Not bad. We got a lot of content for you guys today. We're going to be talking NFL. We're going to be talking maybe some college basketball. Hopefully you enjoy the content. If you want to chime into the content, you can always live chat on the YouTube stream. You can find a YouTube stream on my Twitter channel. On my Twitter. Okay, so I guess we can start NFL because everybody loves NFL. We all know it. Any surprises from this year? Just give me a general surprise team. Pick one team and who are you most impressed with?
I'd probably say most surprising team right now probably got to be the Steelers, mainly just because of who they lost and what they've been doing with their losses. Not necessarily surprised that they're good, just surprised that they've been able to keep themselves in the playoff picture, even though they've been losing. They lost Big Ben, no Antonio Brown, no Le'Veon Bell, and really since they've picked up Minka Fitzpatrick, they've really been on a roll.
The Steelers are the 6th seed right now at 7-5. They might squeeze in that playoffs. Matt, who's your surprise team this year?
I suppose Buffalo. I think they still have a lot left to prove. I don't think they have a win over a team better than 500.
Cowboys.
6-6.
No, they were 6-5, but then 6 and.
Yeah.
Yes,
they're 6-6.
They're 500.
Yeah,
no, but the Cowboy. But when they played them, they were above 500.
Oh, yeah, fair enough. Nevertheless, that defense is very good. They've picked up a lot of guys like Levi Wallace is, a good player, and Sean McDermott is a good coach. He just,
You like Sean McDermott?
I mean, I think he's a good defensive coach.
Yeah, I think he's a good defensive coach. I don't think he does very well in the locker room or as a leader. I don't like him. But his Josh Allen, he's done well. I guess, are you guys surprised was Josh Allen on that team?
I wouldn't say I'm necessarily surprised by Josh Allen, but he's definitely picking up from where he left off last year. I will say I think the Bills' offense overall, I think, is pretty surprising right now. They've actually been playing pretty well. And I do definitely think that in a couple of weeks when they play the Patriots, that's going to be a very interesting game, especially because the AFC East could be on the line when they play.
Yeah, if the Bills do beat the Patriots, is that going to happen? If the Bills beat the Patriots, the Bills can conceivably win that division.
I would not be shocked if it does. Only concern is I think they're playing at Foxborough. But
oh, yeah, they are playing at Foxborough.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it happened based on the Patriots' offense right now.
Matt, what do you think? Do you think the Bills can beat the Patriots this year? For the second, they lost 12-9, or they lost by a touchdown, I think.
Yeah, it was a one-score game.
Yeah, it was very low scoring too. It was like 17-12 or something like that. I forget. But they played in Buffalo. But now the Bills have to go to Foxborough. Can they get a W there?
I mean, they certainly could. They really should have won the first matchup. Had it not been for special teams. Brady did not play well that game, and in my opinion, I think the Bills have the best safety duo in the league, and I don't see why not.
Yeah. So Max, if you're listening, Max is a big Patriot fan. For everybody that knows, you do not have that second seed wrapped up quite yet. You could definitely be playing in Wild Card Weekend, so look out. I think Buffalo does have a chance, but we will have to wait and see. I think they play Week 16 too. Okay. So we got some time. The New England has to take care of Kansas City first. That's another big matchup, New England and Kansas City. Can Kansas City get back on track here? Can they be where's the game? I forget.
Foxborough.
Oh, okay. Is Kansas City going to go into Foxborough and get a dub? Because the Patriots have not looked good at all in terms of offense.
Yeah, I mean, their offense has really been lacking. I mean, obviously Kansas City does not have the best defense. So it's really going to come down to whether the Patriots defense can stop Patrick Mahomes. And based on the two, really young quarterbacks who are really diverse in their talent, Deshaun Watson and Lamar Jackson, who they played, it really seems like those types of quarterbacks are their weakness. So if anything is really evident from that, I think Patrick Mahomes could have a big day against the Patriots defense.
I think the Patriots will do well in keeping Mahomes in check. Really, ever since he's returned, he's just looked one step slower to me. I don't think he played very well against the Chargers, and even this past game, Chiefs blew him out, but Chiefs had defensive touchdowns, and like Trevor Davis muffed the punt on like the 15-yard line, and the Chiefs were just working with short field, and he's different than he was week 3, I guess.
All right, well, Patrick Mahomes, this could be the game that makes or breaks the Chiefs. The Chiefs have had some question marks, a lot more this year than they had last year. I think they can, if they win this game, I think people are going to recognize them as Super Bowl contenders again. I still think they're Super Bowl contenders now. It's just a matter of can they get in that rhythm, and this might be the game that jumpstarts their Super Bowl run.
I still think Patrick Mahomes is top 3 quarterback in the league still.
Top 3 like right now, like this season?
I still think he's top 3.
Okay. I think I agree. Like I think he's looked a lot slower since his injury, but it'll be interesting to see. That's going to be a good game to watch. I think it's prime time too. Is it? It has to be.
It's got it. Yeah, that's got to be a prime time game. If it's not, they'll bump it.
Yeah. So New England has a lot of question marks. They might not even get a bye week, as they have been known for doing. Buffalo and Kansas City, 2 big matchups this year. But another question is Baltimore going to keep that first seed? Baltimore has to play the Steelers, the Browns, and a couple other
Jets and Bills.
Okay, the Jets and the Bills. So the Bills, the Browns, and the Steelers all are above 500. Can the Ravens keep winning like they are?
I mean, to me, it doesn't seem like there's anybody right now who can really stop the Ravens. I mean, they face the 2 best defenses in the league right now, which are the 49ers and the Patriots. And they both times Lamar Jackson was just unstoppable. I mean, he was a little bit more stoppable in the 49ers game, but they still ended up winning. The 4 teams that they still have left, I'd be shocked. I mean, Steelers games are always intense against the Ravens and the
Steelers. The Steelers should have honestly beat us that first time.
Yeah.
If we have to, I never seen the Ravens don't lose to the Steelers twice in one season that often, but Mike Tomlin's such a good coach, and I don't know. Is Baltimore going to keep that first seed?
I think they will. Because even then, I still think the Patriots are going to lose a game or 2. So I think Baltimore has the best odds of locking it up right
now. I agree. I think they ought to be favored in these last 4 games. I think they're the better team in each one of them. But they're really due, I think, for one of these games where they lose by 14. If for no other reason than they've just done really, really well in the red zone and kind of gotten turnovers and, like the Ravens-Houston score, for example, just wasn't, we're not that good and they're not that bad type of thing. So, I think if the Ravens, they could certainly lose. I think they will.
Yeah, well, that'll be interesting. That'll be an interesting race to watch. I think the Buffalo could definitely be that surprise team this year. It'll be interesting to watch. And speaking of all these teams, we have a Coach of the Year candidate to predict. Coach of the Year, there's a couple different candidates, including Mike Tomlin, John Harbaugh, and of course always Bill Belichick. But the NFC as well, we haven't talked about the NFC that much yet. Kyle Shanahan and Sean Payton are both in there as well. Who's your Coach of the Year right now, and who's going to get that award?
Well, one person who I thought was Frank Reich from the Colts.
True.
After all that Andrew Luck stuff, I just immediately thought they'd go, 6-10. But as it turns out, that's a really good team, and I think they're only a quarterback away from really being one of the best teams in the AFC.
Yeah, the one thing about the Colts is like Vinatieri. If you had a better kicker, Vinatieri has missed 2 kicks that would have won them the game, and the Colts also lost against the Dolphins. Yeah. So Jacoby Brissett has done great. I think Frank Reich is doing everything he can, but if the Colts aren't in the playoffs, I don't think Frank Reich is going to get that award.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think even if they make it, he's probably not going to get it. I just think he at least deserves recognition.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I would also mention Pete Carroll in the mix.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about him.
Yeah,
Seattle's looked great.
I know. I mean, I think the Seahawks were a team that people weren't really expecting to be as good as they usually are. But the Seahawks have looked like one of the best teams in the NFL easily. I mean, they beat the 49ers. I think the only game where they kind of looked bad was maybe against the Ravens, but Ravens have made everybody look bad, honestly.
As a Ravens guy, I tell you the truth, I think Seattle played us really well, if not for just handing us 14 points. I know Nick can back me up there, but I think that was an even game, if not them beating us really until that pick 6.
Yeah, and not like if you go back to when DK Metcalf fumbled and then we got a fumble return for a touchdown, Russell Wilson had 3 minutes to drive down the field and win the game. First pass was to DK Metcalf, and he fumbled. So the Seahawks are the team I do not want to play again. I will play any other team. I'll play San Francisco again, just because I would like to see a clear weather game instead of that rain that we had in Baltimore when San Francisco played Baltimore. But the Seattle Seahawks, I do not want to play them in the Super Bowl.
Who was the other team that Seattle lost to?
Saints.
The Saints and is that right? The Saints and the Ravens?
Yeah.
And the Saints lost to the Falcons. And who else did the Saints lose to?
The Rams. When
did they really?
Yeah, it was.
Because it was the game. It
was like week
Brees
2.
Injured.
Yeah.
It was that game that Drew Brees started for a quarter.
There was another controversial flag, or no, I guess flag that didn't get called back when Cameron Jordan picked up the fumble, and they called him back even though it was a fumble, and it would have been a pick 6.
Oh, that's lame.
Yeah.
Why wasn't the play reviewed?
Huh?
Was the play reviewed?
Yeah, but the problem is they called it they stopped the play.
Oh, I've seen this happen.
Yeah, so they stopped and that's why if you've been watching fumble calls, they've been a lot more lenient on letting the play carry out.
Yeah, I think that happened to the Ravens in the Browns game last year, and Lamar Jackson reached over, but the ball got slapped out of his hands. The Browns kept running, but the whistle was blown. So It was I forget what happened, but it was controversy. Yeah, definitely. So the Redskins, they have not yet been eliminated. I think they're how many games behind?
They're 3 games behind the Cowboys right now.
Okay, they're 3 games behind the Cowboys. The Cowboys are 6-6. The Eagles are 5-7. The NFC East is still up for grabs. Anybody's game, including the Giants. Are we? How much faith? How close can this Redskins team make it? Can this Redskins team go on a run?
Honestly, if we weren't playing the Packers next week, I wouldn't say it's impossible. But because we're playing Aaron Rodgers and the Packers at Lambeau, there's no way. I mean, the only way we could even make the playoffs would be for a lot of stuff to go wrong with both the Cowboys and the Eagles. But if it somehow happens, I would love to see the Redskins beat the Cowboys the last game of the season and knock out the Cowboys. It would make me so happy.
That would be great. So why is the NFC East so trash? Is it just Dallas has underperformed. Can we all agree with that?
I disagree with that.
Really?
I think
you don't think Dallas is better than their.
I don't think Dallas was good this year. I don't think they were good last year. I don't think they've been good since Prescott's rookie year.
That's kind of true.
I mean, like even
because they were 14-2 Prescott's rookie year.
You can't blame their performance on Prescott. Prescott's actually been really good this season.
Yeah, he had a 400-yard gain not too long ago.
Yeah.
What?
I mean, I'd say just like I think much of what people think of him, and like obviously like some of the people saying it's like Stephen A. Smith who's a moron, but like them winning a home playoff game last year, I think really like
changed the franchise.
Well, no, I think people think they're a lot better than they are. Like if you box score scout them, just off the top of my head, I mean they beat the Giants week 17 by 1 point. Mm-hmm. They beat just like Buccaneers, Lions, just a lot of terrible teams. And then, think of the teams that, beat them. Last year they lost to the Titans. The Colts shut them out 23-0. Like, I just think it wasn't a good team to begin with.
All right, fair take with Jason Garrett on that coaching staff.
I think a lot of it comes down to Jason Garrett, to be honest, because I think the Cowboys actually do have a legitimately talented roster. I think Jason Garrett is not a good coach, and he's never proven to be that good of a coach. And so I think because there's been a lot of games that I think you could actually blame on play calling. But even then, I still think there's also a lot of other issues that the Cowboys need to fix, like their defense. It's not playing up to how they were last year, and Ezekiel Elliott has seemed to slow down a lot after getting paid all that money.
Yeah, Zeke has looked kind of sluggish. So we know Jason Garrett has to be gone, right?
Yeah.
Is he gone, Matt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's gone.
Yeah.
I mean, Cowboy fans honestly should hope that they don't win the Super Bowl, just because that means more. Well, not win the Super Bowl, but should hope that they don't go too far in the playoffs, or else Jason Garrett is going to stay here a little bit longer.
Yeah, that's.
Because they're not win the Super Bowl. That can kind of be guaranteed. But
that's true. If John Harbaugh didn't win that Super Bowl, I'm pretty sure he would not be a head coach right now for the Ravens. I think it's okay. I think that Super Bowl for John Harbaugh solidified a long-term relationship with that Ravens organization. What were you going to say, Matt?
I was just going to say I think they're also managed terribly, at least in terms of like executive decisions, like the personnel decisions. Like I don't think they were good last year.
Who, the Cowboys?
The Cowboys, yeah.
Okay.
And so they really ought to, try to rebuild and get some players on the cheap. But as is, they have so many guys coming up to be free agents, Kyle Collins and, DeMarcus Lawrence and Byron Jones and all them. Mm-hmm. And then they just paid off Zeke. They're not going to have money to pay them all off. And yeah, they're just – I think the worst decision they could have made was pay a bunch of players off. And that's what they did over the offseason.
Yeah.
And they have to pay Dak Prescott soon. I don't know when, but they're going to have to pay him soon or extend him.
I've actually thought Dak Prescott has been the one player that's been worth the money actually this season. Because from what I've seen, I think he's actually improved from previous seasons. Because Ezekiel Elliott hasn't been doing much. And a lot of the criticism towards Dak is that he's bad without Zeke. But he's actually proven this year that he can actually play without Zeke. So I think he's actually been worth the money.
Have they extended him yet?
No, not as far as I know.
Yeah, so he might still be on his rookie contract. So
yeah.
I would not be surprised though if they extend him, that he just goes down the tube and just starts playing poorly or average. I don't have a lot of faith in Dak Prescott, to be honest with you. I really do not like the Cowboys just because they're always talked about on every.
Oh yeah.
And they're not even that good.
Yeah, I can't stand them, but yeah, they have one of the most obnoxious fan bases in the NFL.
You heard it here first, folks. I'm sorry if you're offended or if you're a Cowboys fan, but it's hot. It's a hot take. Okay, so I guess do you guys want to talk about playoffs now, or who's a surprise? Okay, how about this question? Who's a surprise team that's not in the playoffs right now that will get into the playoffs 4 weeks from now?
I mean, I think I'd go with the Titans. I mean, I know they got a tough schedule coming up, but since they've started Ryan Tannehill, they have looked like one of the best teams in the AFC, if not their division. I mean, they beat the Chiefs, who are a really good team. Last week they beat the Colts, who were their division rival, probably knocking them out of the playoffs. And, I mean, I think it's really going to come down to those 2 games against the Texans. But, I mean, I think the Titans have looked really, really good.
I think the Titans can go 2-2, but they would have to beat the Texans both times.
The Saints game is also a concern because they have to play the Saints.
Oh my gosh, dude! There's no way the Titans are getting in. It's just too hard.
Well, it depends on how the Steelers do going down the line, because the Steelers also have to play the Bills and the Ravens. So if they both tie, I don't know who would go to.
I mean, like, I'll give the Titans like a 25% chance at getting a 6th seed right now. It's gonna be close. Who's your surprise team?
I guess if I did mention anybody, I'd say the Indianapolis Colts. I have very little faith in it, but
who are they playing next 4 weeks? Do you know?
They play.
They're 6-6 right now, so they have to go 3-1 minimum.
Yeah.
Minimum is like, if you want to get in the playoffs in AFC, you need a minimum of 9 wins. If you want to guarantee a playoff spot, you basically need 10 wins.
I know they get the Jags again.
Yeah, and the Jaguars have looked like trash. Keep going.
Yeah. So much
The
for that money.
Okay, so the Colts have to play the Buccaneers, should be a dub. Saints, Panthers, maybe a dub. Colts good, and then Colts play the Jaguars. The Colts played Buccaneers, Saints, Panthers, Jaguars to finish out the year. So they can definitely go 3-1 and get to 9-7. So any other comments you want to make about the Colts?
We ought to put Adam Vinatieri down.
Oh yeah, they signed Chase McLaughlin today. So Adam Vinatieri, he might be done. He's 46. I don't know if another team's going to take a chance on him.
He's actually been hurting them. I mean,
he's been awful this year.
They would have beat the Steelers if Adam Vinatieri had hit that game-winning field goal.
He also lost another game-winning quick that I'm forgetting about. Or it wasn't game-winning,
he's missed a
go
bunch
ahead.
Of extra points too.
Yeah, he's hit 68% of his field goals, worst in the league. I'm not sure if it's worse in the league, but it's the worst in his career for any single season. So it's unfortunate, but he might need an off season to rest and maybe get his brain straight, because kicking is as much physical as it is mental.
Yeah, I mean, he's 46 now.
Yeah, 46.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, you just gotta stop.
Who's your MVP right now? MVP of the league. 2 words.
Definitely going Lamar Jackson right now. Russell, I think, was my front runner earlier in the season, but this 8-win streak that the Ravens have been on, I mean, he has just looked unstoppable. No defense has been able to figure him out. So I'm definitely going Lamar for right now.
Do you agree, Mr. Baltimore?
I do. I think Russell Wilson's won a lot of close games and has obviously played well, but I think them being 10-2 is a little bit inflated by beating the Browns by 4 and needing overtime to beat the Buccaneers, who really should be 7-5, but that's a different discussion, I guess.
Yeah, I think Lamar is going to get it, not just for his offensive ability to just score points like a magician, but he's really changing the game. And when you have a game changer like that, and with somebody who gets so much volume, I think he has to get it. Russell Wilson is absolutely doing his thing, and I think he's the only other candidate that can catch Lamar, but Russell Wilson will have to do some serious damage over the next couple of weeks to prove that he should get it over Lamar. I just think Lamar has just been a game changer for the Ravens, because without him, I think he's just changing the whole league.
Yeah.
He's changing the whole league like Tom Brady and Peyton Manning did, going from just passing and high-profile offenses. And so now we're going to go back to this maybe trending rush. Is that the future of the NFL? Rushing every play, or how much passing? Because Lamar passes between 20 and 30 passes on average.
Yeah.
I mean, I still think the future's passing. I mean, I think, that's the only way you could justify, a guy like Cliff Kingsbury getting a job.
Yeah. There you go. Keep going.
Like in college, like his offenses were consistently like amazing, and that's what he was responsible for as far as play calling. But then his defenses were bad. The point I guess I'm trying to make is, I just don't think there's going to be many athletes like Lamar who, are able to last, and I just don't think, I don't think there's many guys like him.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I like Cliff Kingsbury and the Cardinals and Kyler Murray have been better than I thought they would.
Yeah,
they've been competitive. Like I don't like their record. Like their record's a little bit odd, and I think it could be better. But they've been competitive with every single game they played this year, and I give them props.
Kyler Murray's looked a lot better.
He's way better than I thought he would be.
Out of all the rookie quarterbacks this year, he's definitely looking like he was worth the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah, and Drew Lock started for the Broncos. He looked great too. Yeah. Will Grier has to get in there, West Virginia guy, right?
Yeah. What do you think about Eli Manning's coming back this week?
Oh yeah, Daniel Jones has a high ankle sprain, so he's going to sit out this one, or he might be inactive. I'm not sure. But Eli Manning, his record all time is like 116 and 116. So does he finish out his career with a W or with an L? He's playing the Seahawks.
Oh, L. Not even close. Giants. Hey, I mean, they look worse than the Redskins right now, and that's saying a lot because the Redskins look terrible.
Did you want to say something?
I think they play the Eagles. I could be wrong.
They might play the Eagles. You're right. They are. Yeah, the Giants play the Eagles.
Still no.
Yeah, it's gonna be on Monday night, so that'll be interesting to see Eli Manning's last start ever. Maybe I don't know what he's gonna do. I don't know. I have no idea what's gonna happen to him after this season. And OBJ is also rumored. And speaking of the Giants, OBJ, I still associate OBJ with the Giants. He's on the Browns now. But is he going to come back to Cleveland after having such a poor season?
I mean,
he has to ask for a trade. He can't. He's not like a free agent or something.
It seems like it's more up to Cleveland than it is to him. And I mean, unless Cleveland is really, really desperate, I don't think OBJ is going to go anywhere quite yet. But, I mean, their offensive line is really, really bad in Cleveland. And they may need to make a couple changes in order to improve it. But I don't think OBJ is going anywhere quite yet. Freddie Kitchens is gone before OBJ.
Yeah, I was going to say, Cleveland needs to fix their management style. Yeah. It's a bad organization. And, I think, I forgot who their GM is.
John Dorsey.
Yeah, that John Dorsey. I think he was excellent. When he came in, he got rid of some guys, and then he got some serious studs to play. But everything below John Dorsey has just been just a mess. So Cleveland has been Cleveland this year, if we put it that way. Okay, Super Bowl winners. What's your Super Bowl matchup if you had to choose right now? Who's winning and by what score? And what are the teams?
I would say Raven. I think the Ravens are winning the AFC. The NFC, I think, is a lot harder to predict because I think it's down to 3 teams right now in the NFC: the Saints, the Seahawks, and the Niners. But I'm gonna go Ravens. Ravens Seattle right now.
And who wins and what score?
I think the Ravens would pull it out.
Now remember, if they play the Seahawks again, they'd be seeing Lamar Jackson twice.
That's true, but I think it'd be close. And I think but the Ravens have also been I think they've actually been getting better since they played the Seahawks. Well, the Seahawks the last couple weeks have looked a little bit spotty, except for the Niners win. So I think it'd be the Ravens. It'd be a close one. I think it'd be like 31-27. Very close game, but I think it'd be a good one.
Oh, yeah. Any Super Bowl from these teams would probably be pretty good.
Yeah.
Matt, do you have any Super Bowl predictions?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's definitely a good pick. For me, I like the Saints out of the NFC. If the 49ers play on Wild Card Weekend, I don't imagine Jimmy Garoppolo is going to win 4 straight playoff games. Nevertheless, the Packers and the Vikings just don't have it, and whoever wins the NFC is going to get their tail whooped. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think the Packers are underrated. I think their defense just because their defense has been there, I think their defense is reliable, and I think if that's the game changer for the Packers. It'll be pretty impressive for Matt LaFleur to get them to the Super Bowl on his first year at head coach.
But really, the only team in the NFC who I'm going to completely write off of the Super Bowl is the Cowboys. I think any of these teams have a good chance. Even Minnesota, they look good.
All right, you're a homer, we know.
Huh?
You're a homer with Kirk Cousins, we know.
Kirk Cousins, hey, since Adam Thielen called him out, Kirk Cousins has been playing very well. I mean, whether or not he can turn it on come playoff time, that's unknown. But I think the only team I'm going to write off is the Cowboys.
Yeah, and Jimmy G, he's got to make a playoff run, or he's got to get some leadership to that team, and I think he can do it. I like Jimmy G a lot. I think he's 16 or 17-3 as a starter, so that's a fantastic record. And people always say that it's the defense and it's the coaching that helps out Jimmy G, and while most certainly that's the case, I think Jimmy G still has some magic to him. But does he have Nick Foles' magic? So Nick Foles has looked like trash this year. He's on the Jaguars. Jaguars are out of it. Do you guys really think, and Matt, we know that you don't think Jimmy G is going to win 4 straight playoff games, but Ross, is Jimmy G better than better than people think?
I mean, I think Jimmy G the last couple of weeks has been pretty good. I don't think they give him enough credit. I think he's been a solid quarterback who has a great defense behind him, but has done enough to earn wins when it counts. I mean, he just played the Ravens, and he played very well against the Ravens. So I think he could get it done if need be.
Yeah, I think I like Jimmy G a lot. Also, another controversy, Ron Rivera he got fired just a couple days ago. Now Cam Newton hasn't played since week 2 or something. What's the Carolina Panthers situation, and what do you expect from the future from them?
Well, I think it just needs to be said, my favorite Ron Rivera moment when he benched Cam Newton for not wearing a tie, and Derek Anderson came in and threw
a pick six?
Interception, on the first play.
Was it a pick six?
I think so. It was against the Seattle Seahawks, but that's my favorite. I think that just needs to be said.
I totally forgot about that. Do you think that's an element to his coaching style, or do you like that, or was it stupid?
I think it's just a funny moment. I think he's a good coach, at least in terms of just kind of being just a solid program year after year.
I think he only had 3 winning seasons or something stupid like that. He had that one magical 15-1 season, and the Buccaneers spoiled that 16th win in Week 17. Yeah. But Ron Rivera, I think he might have actually been overrated. Agree? Disagree?
I don't know if he was necessarily over. I think he's still a good coach. I just think the Panthers, the last couple of years, I think it might be Cam Newton who might be overrated, not necessarily Ron Rivera, because Cam Newton Last couple of years, his passing has just slowed down a lot. And so I don't know if he was the thing the Panthers need to move on from, or if it was Ron Rivera. But I think Ron Rivera is a fine coach, and I think he'll definitely get hired next year by one of the teams.
Oh yeah, the Redskins or Dallas will gladly take Ron Rivera.
Browns.
The Browns, yeah.
Freddie Kitchens is 100% gone.
Freddie Kitchens is very.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of things he needs to correct. What was I going to ask? Oh yeah, where's Cam Newton playing next year?
I don't know. I mean, it's definitely. I don't think it's going to be Carolina, even as badly as Kyle Allen has looked the last couple of weeks. I think the Panthers are going to send him away and save a lot of money in the process. But I don't know. I mean, it's kind of hard to predict because
it's too early.
Yeah, I think it's too early.
There's a lot of QB needy teams, and there's still a lot of young quarterbacks out there. There's like 3 Allen quarterbacks: Brandon Allen, Josh Allen, Kyle Allen. Where do these guys come from? And like they're all doing like okay sometimes, but then there's like another slew of young quarterbacks that are trying to take over the league. But there's got to be a space for Cam Newton, and I think he'll stay in the NFC. Ben, do you have any thoughts? Or Matt, do you have any thoughts? Excuse me. On where Cam Newton's gonna go?
Yeah, I have no clue. He definitely deserves to be playing somewhere and starting somewhere. But aside from that,
okay. Well, we will have to wait and see. We will have to find out. Do you guys want to comment more at all about the NFL or anything at all? Or
I just want to say that the Eagles are bad, and and they were bad in 2017 when they won the Super Bowl too.
Yeah, and as a Redskins fan, as hilarious as I think it is that they're still in the playoffs, honestly, I kind of hope they don't. Because the Redskins need to get Bruce Allen out of here. He needs to leave. And if the better the Redskins do, the better Bruce Allen's going to look. And I don't want Dan Snyder to think of any excuse to keep him. And so I want Bruce Allen gone.
So if Bruce Allen gets fired, you will sacrifice how many years of no playoffs?
We're already not making the playoffs for like a couple years.
Okay.
But Bruce Allen needs to leave. He needs to be gone.
Okay. Well, I think that's enough NFL for today. We spent over more than half the show on it. But I just got breaking news, and that's saying Nationals managing principal owner Mark Lerner told NBC Sports Washington Donald Dell that his team can't afford to retain both Anthony Rendon and Steven Strasburg as free agents. Ooh. So that's kind of a blow to Ross because he probably just found out now. Also, Ross is a Nationals fan, but it's kind of reasonable. You can't retain both Strasburg and Rendon.
Yeah,
those are $200-300 million guys.
Personally, I'd prefer if they can try to keep Anthony Rendon over Strasburg. I know Strasburg had an amazing season, but he is very injury prone, so I don't know how reliable he's going to be going down the line. Anthony Rendon is younger. He is more consistent than Steven Strasburg. But, I mean, if they keep Strasburg and can't keep Rendon, I'll be fine with that. But I'd prefer to keep Rendon if they possibly can.
And, Matt, I don't know how much baseball do you know? How much baseball do you know?
A little bit.
Okay. Do you think Nats should keep Strasburg or Rendon?
Yeah. It ought to be Rendon. He's the more valuable of the two.
Yeah. Generally, how I see it is like whoever plays more should get more money. Like Strasburg only pitches like 30 games a year, and if he gets hurt, he could easily pitch 20 or less. So you're paying Strasburg all this money for what, 20 wins, and he's not maybe 20 wins maximum. That's what pitchers get. But Rendon, he will play like 140 games, and he could earn you 20 wins in 1 month if he just plays like a madman.
Plus, I don't know if the Nats can afford. If Strasburg's going after a big contract, I don't know if they can afford it anyways, just because of how much they're already paying Max Scherzer and Patrick Corbin. I'm hoping they keep Rendon. He's a fan favorite, and he's proven to be an excellent third baseman, one of the best in the league. So I definitely think they should go after him.
The Nationals have consistently paid starting pitching more than any other position, so I think I want them to keep Rendon as well, but I think they'll end up signing Strasburg, maybe to a 4-year extension.
That bullpen too, because that bullpen needs some work.
Yeah. They managed it. Dave Martinez managed it, and they made it work this year.
It's because the two bullpen pitchers who they needed, Hudson and Doolittle, showed up. So that's really what helped it.
And Joe Ross pitched Game 5 of the World Series, and he kept them in there. He gave them a chance, and I think he give him some props as well. Ate some innings, if you will.
Anibal Sanchez too.
Anibal Sanchez, yeah.
Completely resurrected.
Yeah, he definitely. I don't know how old he is now, but he's been around the league for a while. So that was a magical playoff run, and I'm glad the Nationals won after seeing with the Astros having all this controversy and with cheating. Yeah, I'm gonna wait patiently to talk about that. We can speculate all we want, but at the end of the day, we don't know what happened. We don't. I just hope the penalty is severe, and make sure you have all the evidence before you impose penalties by MLB. That'll be interesting to watch this winter and this spring. College basketball. We're going to transition gears here. College basketball. So a lot of things happened the past 2 weeks. A lot of upsets. Maryland started out the season at number 5. Number 5. And they're moving their way up to number 3.
I believe they're number 7 to start the season.
Number 7. Okay, somewhere around there. Regardless, a lot of top teams, especially Kentucky, Michigan State, and Virginia have been losing. Virginia was ranked number 5, and they just lost to Purdue. So, are you surprised by Purdue, or what surprised you in college basketball these past 2 weeks?
I think the top story has definitely been Michigan, because they went from not even being ranked to now being top 4. I don't know if they're still going to be 4 when next week starts, because it just lost to Louisville. But Louisville's number 1, so they might not drop at all. But Michigan, I think, has definitely been the top story right now, because those were 2 huge wins for an unranked team. And I think Purdue, I think that's more of an upset in terms of UVA losing, not necessarily that Purdue is looking really good, because they lost. They lost Marquette and Texas early.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. So they have
Texas.
2 losses already. Yeah.
Okay, maybe they're not that good.
And Florida State they lost to also. So
they have 3 losses?
Yeah, they have 3 losses.
Florida State's ranked. They're not bad.
Are they ranked?
Yeah, Florida State's not bad. And
okay.
I
thought Florida State was bad.
But yeah, I think this was more of a Virginia looking off than it was a game of Purdue looking really good. But Purdue is always a very well coached team, even if they do have 3 losses. So we'll have to see down the line how they do if they keep this up.
It will be interesting for sure. Matt, what surprised you in college basketball the past 2 weeks?
I watched Ohio State beat UNC last night over a couple of beers. That was fun to watch, even though I really ought to be cheering for UNC since we're not in the ACC anymore. Nevertheless, Ohio State's for real, and but I also don't think Virginia's very good. They lost Guy and Jerome and DeAndre Hunter, so I think them being 5 is I think that's just early season.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to. Those preseason and early season rankings are always hard, especially when Kentucky loses to Evansville and when Michigan State loses to
They lost to
Michigan?
To VTech.
Oh yeah, Virginia Tech
is
good.
Duke who lost to Stephen F. Austin.
Oh,
that was the other big upset that's happened this season.
And if you watched the Ravens game last night, if you watched the Maryland basketball game last night, not the Ravens game, Maryland basketball beat Notre Dame convincingly. Maryland basketball, they have looked like they knew what they were doing. They looked like they had an identity on the court. They looked like they were playing fluid basketball. is this the best team you think we have at Maryland in the past 5 years or so? Because they had that Sweet 16 run in 2016 with Melo, Trimble, and Des Wells. Is this the best team, though? Is this team going to top that?
I mean, I think right now it's looking like I think they will, because I remember that team a while ago. That team, as good as they were, the issue that I had was it was a lot of transfers who were on that team. So there's a lot of players that didn't necessarily know each other that well, and so it looked like the team chemistry was a bit off. But this year, I think they actually look a lot better, because while we do have some really good freshmen, it's a lot of returners from last year who are really playing very well right now.
Cowan has been a game changer.
Yeah, Ayala's been good. Jalen Smith is improving. Anthony Cowan, I think, has actually looked fairly well. I think he's actually stopped turning the ball over as much, which he definitely still needs to work on. But Aaron Wiggins is looking really good.
Aaron Wiggins is my favorite. Matt, do you have anything you want to say about Maryland basketball?
Yeah, I mean, just obviously, an exciting time to be a basketball fan here. Only thing I'd say is that we don't feel like the third team in the country. Even yesterday, like, a part of me was thinking, I think Notre Dame is just this bad. Like, I just, for maybe the first 10 minutes of that first half, it was just, and it's been a lot of games that way, but, I mean, nevertheless, we still won them.
Yeah, Notre Dame should be an NCAA tournament team.
I think our most impressive win so far is probably against Marquette.
Notre Dame?
Yeah. They should be an NCAA tournament team, right?
They weren't last year.
They weren't?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, a lot of people showed up for that game then. I don't know. I thought it was a bigger game than that. I thought Notre Dame was better.
I mean, I think our most impressive win so far has actually been the Marquette game. Okay, absolutely. Just because of
the score difference.
Well, the score difference, and Marcus Howard, who is, NBA draft prospect, he was held to only 6 points.
Yeah, he was limited.
Anything. So our defense the last 2 weeks have actually, or last couple of weeks, or at least in the start of the season, has actually looked very good, especially when Maryland, has been struggling from the three to start each game. But I definitely think Maryland, I do agree that we don't necessarily feel like the 3 seed yet, or number 3 ranked team yet. I think it's going to really be that Seton Hall game that we have coming down.
That Seton Hall game is going to be quite the show. Seton Hall's ranked 12 or 13 right now. We play them not until the semester's over and around the 3rd week of December. Yeah. So hopefully Maryland can pull out a double in that one. And I want to comment on what Matt said earlier. Do you guys feel like you're a top 3 team? Do they feel like we're a top 3 team? It's kind of like surreal because like top 3 is just absolutely insane. What was that 2016 ranked at the beginning of the year?
I think around 3.
Yeah, I was gonna say 2 or 1 or something crazy like that. And hopefully Maryland basketball lives up to the hype this season and they perform. I don't know. It'll be interesting to watch. Everybody that's been listening so far, thank you for tuning in. We can do trivia at this time. If you guys want to call in, I will ask you some trivia questions, and you can win a prize. So trivia, you can call in at 443-567-1837. Once again, the number is 443-567-1837. And you can call in, and we can ask you some trivia questions. And but meanwhile, we're just going to talk about other stuff. Is there anything you guys want to talk to that we haven't talked about yet?
I think we haven't talked about the Mason Rudolph yet, and how Duck Hodges is apparently the better QB, undrafted.
Yeah, I was gonna say, where did he come from?
I think he played at Samford University, not Stanford.
Samford.
I don't even know where that is, but
it's I want to say it's Alabama.
Okay,
I could be wrong.
He's Duck Hodges for a reason, huh? Yeah, being from Alabama. I guess that'd be a good guess. Duck Hodges just looked great, and I kind of wanted to see Mason Rudolph play in the Browns game again just for revenge after what happened to him. with Myles Garrett slamming the helmet on him.
Yeah, I did want to see that also, but I understand that Mason Rudolph has not been playing that well so far this season.
And I think Mason Rudolph was like a 3rd-round draft pick too.
Yeah.
So he was like, he should have been better. Oh, okay. Okay, we talked a lot of NFL. Like, this is like the one time of year where like there's like not a lot going on. Like, there's hockey going on, but like it's kind of like nothing's really like no big upsets in hockey. It's just a regular season.
Caps are looking good.
Yeah, Caps are looking good.
We're on a fucking win streak right now.
I think the Bruins are in the league for points though, if I remember correctly.
Might be tied.
Might be tied or something like that. It's really close.
But they've played less games than we have. So
Okay.
I think that's why they're currently above us.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, look, a Steelers fan calling in. Mr. Brendan Mr. Brendan, I won't put your last name on live. Hello. Welcome to WMUC Sports.
What's up?
How you doing, Brendan? Is there
I'm
any
good.
Do you want to talk about Duck Hodges?
You mean the 2019 MVP? Yeah.
And what league? The XFL?
No, obviously not.
All right, well, maybe Antonio Brown gets to play in the XFL if he doesn't get another shot in the NFL. Is Antonio Brown getting another shot, Brendan? Brendan is a Steelers
I don't
fan.
care. He shouldn't play football ever again. He's a clown.
God. Okay. So what is there any comments you want to make, Brendan, or do you want to play trivia?
I was told to call for trivia, so let's do that.
Okay. Brendan is very reliable at trivia. I think he had his own trivia questions last time he was on. So Brendan, who holds the record for most point? Oh wait, you don't know that NBA.
No.
I'll give you an easy one. Okay.
Just give me a football related one.
Oh God.
Doesn't have to be easy.
What former Super Bowl MVP is now on IR? What former Super Bowl MVP is now on IR? I think Matt knows this question. Of all the QBs, well, I should.
So it's a quarterback? Or
Well, now it's a quarterback because I messed up the question. What former Super Bowl MVP is now on IR?
And it's a quarterback.
Yeah.
I think I know this.
Brendan? 5.
Yeah.
If I'm
4.
right, Brennan should
Joe Flacco.
Yeah. It took you a while to Google that, right?
No, I'm not Googling. I was trying to go through all the MVPs.
Yeah, Joe Flacco is the correct answer. Let me see if I can get you another one. And if you get it right, I'll get you a prize.
I was thinking big.
Joe Flacco, forgotten.
Yeah, I literally forgot about him. I was thinking Nick Foles, and then I realized, oh yeah, he's off.
I think the Broncos forgot about him too, honestly.
Yeah, Broncos looked great after what's his name started.
He's a washed-up quarterback. He hasn't been good in a while. Made no sense why they went after him.
Brendan, I don't have any more football questions. Do you want a basketball or do you want a basketball or MLB?
I'll try baseball.
Trying to see if we can get a winner here. All right, well, I'll give you a basketball one because this is maybe one you won't get, but I think you'll get. Who invented the sport of basketball?
Oh fuck! I know the person's name. Oh, sorry for swearing.
Yeah, you can.
I just heard this yesterday, and I'm totally blanking on it.
Who invented the sport of basketball?
God. Stephen Naismith.
I wish.
Wait.
I wish he invented
What'd you say?
Oh, James Naismith, right?
No, before that. What'd you say before that?
I said Stephen.
Stephen A. Smith did not invent the sport
Stephen
of basketball.
Naismith. Naismith.
Oh, Stephen Naismith.
No, you said Stephen A.
I thought you
Smith.
said
No, I
Stephen
didn't.
A.
I said
Oh,
Naismith.
okay.
And then I realized it's James, right?
James Naismith is the correct answer. I will count that as a correct answer. Brendan, you will get a prize. Anybody else that wants to come onto the show can absolutely just let me know.
How did you get Stephen A. Smith out of that?
Stephen Naismith? Stephen Naismith.
I said Naismith, and I said the wrong first name.
Well, it's on the recording.
If I had said Stephen A., if it was Stephen A. Smith, I wouldn't have said Smith. I would have just said Stephen A., and everybody would have known who that is.
I guess.
But I'm not that dumb.
Okay. Well, Brendan, you did get 2 right. I'm proud of you. You will get your prize off stream, probably sometime in 2020, unless you want to come to my apartment and get it.
Nah, you're on the other side of campus.
Yeah, I know. Well, thank you for calling in. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we go?
Nope. Duck Hodges MVP. Peace out.
All right. That was Brendan. Thank you for calling in. If anybody else wants to call in for a last-minute trivia, you absolutely can at 443-567-1837. Awesome. Well, we're wrapping up the show in about 5 minutes. I guess let's do some bold predictions. Because I'm not even sure if we're going to have a show next week because it's finals week, so we might take the week off. But bold predictions for 2020. Any sport, anything you want. Make a bold prediction. It could be a Super Bowl winner because the Super Bowl is played in 2020. I don't know. Who's going to be the 2020 World Series, 2020 March Madness, 2020 Stanley Cup champion, or anything you want. Doesn't have to be sports related. It can be anything.
I think is the
bold prediction.
Is Garrett Cole on the Yankees official?
Oh, I don't know. Garrett Cole, like some reporter said he was signed.
Twitter that said he got signed.
Yeah, some reporters, a verified Twitter follower, a verified Twitter account said he got signed by the Yankees, but I don't think that's been like official yet. I don't know. It's a weird situation.
Well, if he gets signed by the Yankees, then those are your World Series champs. That'll be my bold prediction is that if Garrett Cole is signed by the Yankees, then they're going to be the World Series champions.
Definitely a possibility. I think they have the depth in terms of fielding, but I don't see DJ LeMahieu having another year like he did. He was crazy, and I think they're going to lose. The Yankees are going to lose some people. Matt, do you have any bold predictions?
Not exactly bold, but if the Bengals have the first overall pick, they're taking Joe Burrow. I've watched the Bengals for a long time. They're not going to pass up on a guy who played high school football 2 hours from them.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, he was Mr. Football Ohio in high school, Joe Burrow.
Are you serious?
He played,
That's cool.
He played high school ball not too far from them, so if the Bengals have the first pick, he's getting taken first overall. And I'd say, again, not exactly bold, but if I'm betting, I'm saying Patrick Mahomes wins the MVP next season. Goes off for 5,000 yards if he stays healthy. He plays the AFC East and the NFC South, so he plays Dolphins, Bills, Jets.
That's true.
Bucks, Panthers, Falcons, and I believe schedule has a lot to do with it, and he's going to go off.
Yeah, we will have to wait and see. And my bold prediction, I don't know why I'm saying this. I don't know how much I believe myself when I say this. Mm-hmm. But the Maryland Terrapins men's basketball team is going to win the national championship this year.
You think so?
I think they can do it. I think that from what I've seen so far, they look like they know what they're doing. Mm-hmm. They have the depth, and we got a 7-foot.
Once that guy comes back.
Yeah, we got a 7-footer and Chol Maria. What's his name? Chol Mariel. And I don't know. I don't understand why I'm saying it, but they're ranked 3 for a reason, and I think they can just get there by brute strength. And the players look like they know what they're doing, and everybody.
It really comes down to Turgeon for me. That's my biggest concern.
What'd you say?
It comes down to Turgeon.
Oh yeah, it comes down to Turgeon. But from what I've seen so far, these players know how to play basketball. Mm-hmm. They know. I've seen more ball movement. I've seen more communication. I've seen better communication. I haven't seen sloppy turnovers. Have you seen sloppy turnovers?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, in the first half, they turned it over a little bit too much.
And like honestly, if they get out to any quick start against a good opponent, they can certainly their slow starts are what killing them, but they seem to be like doing okay.
Well, apparently, in their last 2 games where they've blown out the other teams, Mark Turgeon made a change in the starting 5, and apparently they've been playing a lot better because of that. So.
Okay, it's definitely a matter of team chemistry and who plays well with each other and there's a lot of guys that you need to play with, and I like Turgeon is subbing in groups of 5, so keeping guys fresh too. It'll be interesting to see, but I think they can definitely win the championship this year. It's 7:00. Is there anything else you guys want to say before we get ready to sign off?
I think that's it. Always fun to talk on this. Go Terps.
Anything else, Matt?
New England guy. The Red Sox are so bad that they're about to get rid of Mookie Betts because they signed Chris Sale. That's hilarious. Haha.
Did they re-sign Chris Sale?
No, they
signed him last year.
They signed Chris Sale. They went out and got J.D. Martinez, and they were so poorly managed that there's rumors that they're going to get rid of Mookie Betts, which is hilarious.
I believe it. He has a large contract.
Yeah, the Red Sox have got some rebuilding to do. I don't think they have any prospects in the top 100. But that's besides the point. It's 7:00. Everybody, thank you for tuning in. This is WMUC Sports Radio at Anything Goes. And we might not have a show next week. You would have to follow my Twitter account. It's going to be definitely up in the air. But everybody, hope you have a great